What happened to him?
He cut his wrist. Per his final wishes, you're getting $5 million. Contingent, of course, on the fine print. He can't be ruled to be mentally incompetent.
To me, it's a very human and relatable story. I love taking this larger, more fantastical idea of a man who is invisible and terrorizing this woman, something that is seemingly impossible and something that is, you know, either sci-fi or horror, whatever it is, and marrying that with an incredibly human story of a woman who is trying to recover who she was and trying to find her voice and trying to speak out about something and not be judged for it or hit for it, whether literally or metaphorically. And I think that, to me, that the marriage of those two in this film is what I love about it and what I'm proud of.
Elisabeth Moss, she's awesome. You know, obviously fan of her prior work. You know, it's really cool because she's so dialed into this character, Cecilia. She really understands what it is. And then, like, even the other day we were shooting a scene and she wanted to add a little something to make it just that much creepier, and it actually, it worked. So she's really, I think, locked into what journey this character is on from start to finish. And obviously she's the perfect person to play this role.
He said that wherever I went, he would find me, walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him. Adrian is dead. He's not dead.
I was literally in my kitchen reading the script. My mom was cooking dinner, and I was on the edge of my seat, and my mom had read it before me, and I'm like, Mom, what is happening? What is going on? And she wouldn't say a word. She just said, just finish it. So I was forced to read it very fast, but I just love that not only is this story entertaining, but it does have a female protagonist at the center of it trying to save herself and get out of these circumstances where we usually see movies and you have to rely on a person or a male figure to help you out, but she's really just betting it all on herself and really trying to get herself out of these situations. And I love that she's super duper smart. And even though she does have her moment, she does try to find the light in the darkness. So I was just geeked when I finished reading the script.
What struck me particularly about Leigh's take on Invisible Man, a couple of things. The first thing was that he was going to do it from Cecilia's point of view as opposed to from the point of view of the Invisible Man, which allowed for a lot of different and new storytelling. But the other thing that Leigh is as good as anyone we've ever worked at crafting a scare. And there are really only so many scares you can craft in our world. But I think one of the things he was excited about when attacking the Invisible Man was all the possibilities of different types of scares you could come up with when the Invisible Man was or wasn't in frame. And so those two things made me very, very excited to go forward with Leigh on this movie.
He said that wherever I went, he would find me, walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him.
Are you okay?
Someone's sitting in that chair.
I knew that a lot of the time I wanted to do things practically in this movie. I knew that it was a lack of visual effects that would make it special, like just pointing the camera at an empty room. You know, the emptiness is the special effect. Or more accurately, the audience's imagination is the special effect.
I mean, Leigh and I are tremendous fans of this genre. We both love it and love to be scared and love that feeling, and we wanted to do justice to that. I always kind of wanted to do a really good horror film, a really good scary movie, and this was so the perfect one because it actually had like a very interesting story that I was really attracted to. But I remember saying to each other on our first phone call, we were like, the number one thing is this has to be scary.
Early on, Leigh thought Elisabeth was the perfect person to do Invisible Man, and happily, you know, initially I think she was a little resistant, but then she read the script and she loved it. She met with Leigh, and she was in, and she does an amazing job in the movie. And if it weren't for her, the movie wouldn't be nearly as good as it is.
One of the things Leigh wanted to do, which I loved, was he put in all the little horror tropes. So you know, when the medicine cabinet opens and then it closes and you expect somebody to be back there. We did all of that, except there's nobody there. Like, did the same thing with the refrigerator door. Everything, then put all these little tricks in, and then, but it doesn't actually happen. But you building that suspense was really, really fun. We did the classic, like, walking down the hallway scene, one shot, you know, where the camera comes around and you've seen the door closed previously, and when the camera comes around, now the door's open. Like, that kind of stuff was so much fun to do. Just loud noises, you know, things like that, like turning on a light in a dark room and revealing that that shape in the corner is actually a coat rack. All that stuff that you see in horror movies was so fun to actually just be a part of.
I just thought it would look unique to see a fight scene between two people, only one of those people is invisible. And I just felt like I hadn't seen that too often, and it was exciting. So it was a real combination of practical effects with Lizzie in a harness being dragged around the kitchen. Then we have someone in a green suit that has to be painted out later. Then we have this motion control camera. Then we have practical stunts like tables flying on, and it was almost a mixture of all the different elements.
Surprise.
Our fight scenes are insane because of the way that Leigh is shooting them. Stunt team is crazy, but visually, his camera movements, his style, and you'll see it when you see the film, but I think that is what people are really going to take away from this being different, because of the way it just comes off visually is something that I have never seen before in the horror or thriller genre.
The look of The Invisible Man is very different than really all of the monster movies, in that there's nothing creepy, or there are no cobwebs, there's nothing lost in the corner. It's all contemporary, clean, white, and bright, which is not what you would necessarily associate with The Invisible Man, but it's another reason that I really jumped at the opportunity to do this movie with Leigh, because he was thinking about The Invisible Man in an entirely different way.
Let me help you.
You can't help me.